Finally, I'm back with part 2. You feel me? Batman Animated Series Season 1, Episode 2, The Cat and the Claw, Part 2. And the good word sells. Nah. So I did my 3. Well, I watched it 4 times. Mainly because I wasn't consistent with, well, you know, because I'm just now sharing the video. But anyways, long story short, watched it 4 times. And yeah, I guess I'll just start from what I wrote down. Let's see. You know what? Let me give like a short little synopsis thing. I forgot to do that. So for part 2, Batman, he connects with one of the mobsters that he basically told, I'm gonna come asking for questions. Now, I need you to give me the information you could find in the underground and get back to me. He did that in part 1. So in part 2, they met in like some park. And basically, the gangster, the mobster homie told him that there was going to be a train heist, a military train heist. But that, it was nobody, that he knew that was from Gotham that was doing it. And so then Batman goes to Gordon, and they find out that it's like a secretive. So I guess the train, what's the word for it? I guess the train schedule didn't have this train on its ledger, on its schedule, I guess. So this was supposed to be a train trip under the hush because it's transporting the viral plague that Red Claw talked about in part 1. So Batman's there, then it cuts to the train heist. And so the Red Claw crew, gang, RC, they get to the U.S. Army, and or the U.S. Army military train, and they rob the train, and they take the virus, and Batman tries to stop the Red Claw. The Red Claw dips on him because she threatens to spread the plague and it'll kill 10 million people. And basically she calls his bluff. And basically when she's on the helicopter flying away, she's like, Batman, you ain't shit. She don't say that, but that's basically what she say. Checkmate, Batman. She doesn't say that either, but that's the gist of it. So anyways, she takes the viral plague. The next day, and I'm gonna talk about this, but anyways, the next day, Bruce Wayne goes on a date with Selena, the one that she won from the celebrity animal rights auction. And then some Red Claw people chase him down. And basically, they have to end the date short because they gotta drive and escape these Red Claw hoods that are trying to kill Selena. They're trying to take Selena out because they found out, remember at the end of part 1, when my man had her in the goggles, like, but who's gonna save you? If you've seen the end of part 1. So they know that Selena Kyle's Catwoman, and that's why they're coming after her. I'm trying to think what happens after that. I mean, long story short, they track the Red Claw gang down to Multi-Gun Industries, and they got their secret base underneath where they're doing the real Red Claw activities, the real Multi-Gun Industries. And it's basically just their lair so they can get the viral plague, so they can have all the resources they need to do what they need to do. So Catwoman's in there trying to take pictures so she can expose them, so she can get that land for the Mountain Lion Preserve. And Bruce Wayne's there because, well, Batman's there because he knows they ain't up to no good, and also he's trying to protect Selena Kyle, or he's trying to protect Catwoman. And there's some, and then but even right before that, Batman goes to Maeve, who's Catwoman's assistant, to find out where Catwoman is. There you go. So they tie him up together, or the Red Claw gang tie Batman and Catwoman up together. They leave him there. They got the plague that they about to expose on them, and they're gonna bluff the city and say they got the plague just to get the was it a $3 bill? It was a lot of money, but to get a whole bunch of money. So she wasn't even really trying to, because, I thought that maybe she was with the League of Assassins or something. Maybe she had some ties to Ra's al Ghul, whatever, Al Ghul, Mr. R. Al Ghul. But she's not even about that life. she wants to ransom the virus for some money, which is, I guess, is cool. It's just not. She's not on a different level of villainy. You know what I'm saying? She's just trying to get paper. You know what I'm saying? Or I guess actually I shouldn't say that, because she might papers for a reason. Maybe she's doing it for. But anyways, Catwoman and Batman break out of their bondages. They Batman was in tandem with Gordon, so then the police force come in and keep the Red Claw gang from escaping. Batman goes through and pours gasoline on everything and blows up everything, and then it's supposed to have blown up the viral plague. And yeah, and then at the very end of the episode, when they've caught everybody, I think except Red Claw. Everybody got caught except her. But she was supposed to be, a mountain lion was supposed to have, kept her frozen in whatever spot she was in. So, but I'm sure she got away. If they don't show her get arrested and put in prison. But anyways, it goes to, at the end of the episode, Catwoman goes, I don't know if she's back at her crib, but she's on a roof or something. Batman intercepts her. And basically, she's on some like, oh, yeah, I knew we couldn't be apart. Batman's like, psych. I'm putting you in the back cuffs. I ain't well, and that's the interesting part, because it's complex, right? He did go there because he's in love at first sight, but also the law is between them. And even though he's breaking the law too, he gonna throw her in jail. So that's like the short of it, the long short of it. I promise you, the show was better than I explained it. So watch the episode, please. So yeah. So to my notes, since I did my little synopsis action. So for my notes, so you know what? I think I actually remember at least enough of the episode to probably go down and see the interesting things that are in my head. But I think the first thing I put was the underground, that was the underground base, the basement base that was under Multigon Industries, when they were doing their real action. So they had a lot of like explosive stuff, like gasoline, drums of gasoline, a whole big truck, 16-wheeler gasoline. Also, they had a bunch of U.S. Army grenades. So from that point, I'm thinking all of their armory is supplied by the U.S. Army. Now, of course, they have some type of in with the U.S. Army, whether the U.S. Army know it or not, because they got access to U.S. Army weapons. They clearly have access to some type of communication, because they were able to find out when the military escort for the viral plague was going to be making its way through Gotham. And she, by the way, Batman found that out in part 2. Red Claw had mentioned that in part 1. So they been had the information. Not that it matters, but Red Claw says, in part 1 that we're going to do the train heist at 2300 hours. And that's military time. Now, I used to work at Disneyland, so that's why I like using military time. But I'm sure, well, I'm not sure, but to me, there's some type of connection there. Not that she served, but clearly I think there's more than just they stole their weapons from them. I think they have some type of communication line that they've established or hacked into, you know what I'm saying, that gives them the information to do what they're doing. Because they're catching the U.S. Army off guard. The U.S. Army train, the military escort, they had a whole car, a train car on the side. They had like the tail cart was full of like soldiers. They only had a couple of them in there with the viral plague. And yeah, of course, you want to limit the number of people that are in the cart with the viral plague. I will say they didn't have any hazmat suits on, the guards, but okay, maybe they shouldn't. I don't know, maybe it gets in the way of actually protecting something like that. But they don't even have any gas masks. Just something I noted. I want something. If I'm guarding a viral plague, at least now, if I'm a guard of viral plague, yes. Y'all need to give me some gloves. Y'all need to give me some masks. You know what I'm saying? I need some scrubs or something. I can't just be in my regular uniform, letting on. What anything could happen, right? I'm going off on a little, but just something that may be like, interesting. So So yeah, so I thought that was interesting that it was more than just they stole some guns or weapons from him. It was like, oh no, they've intercepted a line of communication. I was questioning why even Gotham, you know? I'd have to watch the episodes some more maybe to get more information about that. Or I'm sure somebody else has read comics and stories and knows that that story is actually based in a comic that they did. But it just made me curious, like, why even Gotham in the first place? Why even have a military escort for a viral plague? Why is it going through Gotham? You know, maybe at that point, Gotham hasn't been deemed as the unlucky city. But I'm like, through Gotham? Really? Like, Gotham seems like the most dangerous place, dog. No, yeah, let's take that dangerous. Oh, ooh. If something were to happen with that plague, would you want it getting free in your best city? Or would you want it getting free and quite possibly making room in one of your worst cities? You would even say it would be a medicine to the disease that is Gotham. All right, clearly I imagine about this stuff a lot. But yeah, so I was thinking, why Gotham? I didn't really get an answer. I thought the proximity of Multigon Industries possibly is the reason why Gotham may have been a targeted location. But I don't know. Which also begs the question, could there be a theory that Batman in some type of way, I don't know, maybe his presence causes, other, not that the U.S. Army would be intimidated by a vigilante, but I don't even know where I'm going with that one. I'm going to move on. So I haven't figured out why Gotham, but I thought it was interesting to ask that question. Bruce Wayne. Okay, so when I was talking about the synopsis, Selina Kyle and Bruce Wayne go on their date because in part one, they had to put it on hold because Selina was upset. And the second time they were going to go on their date, I think something else happened. But this time, Red Claw steals the viral plague and takes off in the helicopter. The day after, like literally probably a few hours later, Bruce Wayne was on his date with Selina Kyle. He held her to the date. I'm like, dang. So Bruce was going to get that date. Bruh. I mean, this is an emergency at the job. If you were trying to keep a global terrorist from getting their hands on a viral plague, they get their hands on it, take it in front of you, threaten to use it, and Batman went back to the crib, showered, and was like, Selina, we still doing this? No, I'm good. My schedule is open. I just thought that was funny. I'm not hating on it. You know what I'm saying? Bruce got to do it. Bruce got to do it. And clearly he still made it happen. He saved the day. And he probably had, so there isn't a bat signal. My man Batman has a phone that Gordon taps into. So I'm sure Gordon was like, hey, I'm going to keep an eye on it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure Gordon wasn't talking. But I'm sure, Gordon was like, hey, if you need to get some sleep. If you need to get some rest, do what you got to do. And Bruce was like, oh, I know. I know exactly what I'm going to do. Bring. Selina? Hey, yeah, I just want to know if we're still on for our date. Let's do it in the morning time. Well, to be fair, it could have been during lunch. But I'm like, so you spend the whole morning? Oh, all right. So I'm thinking about it through my head. Just an interesting question. Just an interesting thing I thought that he made that date happen after probably the worst day of his Batman career. Hey, my man's determined. So when the Red Claw goes into the military train, the cart with the viral plague, and they knock out the soldiers and they go in there, she takes the shotgun and shoots the chest that the viral plague is in. She shoots it open. Now, I guess, You know, you want to make it so secure that even a bullet can't penetrate it. But I'm not shooting no container with a viral plague in it. Ma, you shot the... Okay. She's clearly devil may care. Because I don't know if it's devil may care, devil make hair, devil make air. I just say it fast. Devil make air. And it sounds like I know what the hell I'm saying. But that's what that seems. It's like, that's wild. But I will say, and this is, I'm sure it's one of my notes in here, I think the Red Claw is super smart. Very smart. The Red Claw doesn't try to fight Batman in this episode. And in these 2 part 2s, right, the women are very strong. Very strong. Very independent. They're not the same. But, I mean, they're not stronger than Batman in the attributes that Batman is known for. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not out fighting Batman. They're not outrunning him, but they can outsmart him. They outthink him. They use, you know what I'm saying? Like, they use different things that they know, okay, maybe I can have an advantage. Maybe I can catch him off guard. And I like that because I've been, I think that it seems like Batman's pretty prepared, pretty trained up. I only say that because in the Batman Year One, so in the comics, Batman whoops Selena Kyle's ass. And of course he does. Selena Kyle, I'm sure she could defend herself on the streets, but Bruce Wayne has been traveling the world for years purposefully trying to be ready for situations like that. So of course, yes, he gonna get through. He gonna hit her with the wop wop wop. You know what I'm saying? He gonna Ippo Makanuchi her stuff and put her to the ground, which is cool. That don't make her not any less strong. It's just, all right, okay, smooth. You know, we're talking about the time Batman's on. Now I like Batman Year One, the animated movie, but in the movie they made the fight between Bruce Wayne at the time, the grifter, versus Selena Kyle. She wasn't Catwoman yet. They made it like equal. And I guess that's cool, but in terms of like the story, it's like, whoa. If they're equal, he needs to go back and train. Because Selena Kyle's out here trying to be stealth. And she's trying to, you know what I'm saying? And she's trying to defend herself when she needs to. She's not out here trying to fight crime. But Bruce Wayne is. Bruce Wayne should not be on the same combat level. And it doesn't bother me that much. But when I see that in stories you can write strong women characters and they don't have to necessarily all of a sudden be able to outdo the male character or the man character in this thing he's known for. Unless, of course, their character, it's valid. But you see what I'm saying? And I bring all that back to say in the part 1 and part 2 of The Cat and the Claw, Catwoman and Red Claw, multiple times they get the best of Batman. And not one time do they whoop his ass because they hitting him with a whop, 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 whop. And Batman's like, oh, duh. Batman even says it in when he first runs up against Red Claw. Because he's like, when he first sees Red Claw on the train, he's like, Red Claw's a woman? And she's like, you got the problem with me being a woman, Batman? Or she says something like that. And he goes, no, I'm an equal opportunity crime fighter. And I love that. That was a good line, too. Yeah, anybody can catch the hands. That's what he's saying. If you breaking the law, you can catch the hands. And so I just say all that to say, I love that because I thought Red Claw was a very smart villain, right? They didn't just make her some terrorist that was just like, I just want my way right now. No, she even mentions it at the end when she's fighting Catwoman out of frustration. She's talking about how she built her empire from the ground up, basically. You know, how many countries she's had to take over, how many different probably secret agencies she's had to infiltrate or run away from, or, you know what I'm saying? Or take down. It reminds me of the super soldiers in Civil War that Baron Zemo killed. He shot him. And remember, before, we never got a chance to see him, but the build up was that they can take down an entire country in an evening, damn near. And that's what it seems like Red Claw is about. She about that life. So, dope character. And nobody beat Batman in a hand-fist combat fight. There's other ways to beat him. And it's like, you know what I'm saying? Don't go at his strengths if you smart. You feel me? If you smart, yeah, you gonna go over, okay, where's he strong? Let me find the weakness. You know what I'm saying? The art of war. I digress. Yep, I think I said a lot of my notes. Oh, part 2, we see Alfred. I love it, man. Alfred's dope. So he was there in 1. We didn't see him. But his existence is implied since in part 2, he's not like, oh, what's up? You want to, you know, am I hiring you or something? No, he's already at the crib. Alfred talking about him, you know what I'm saying? Plus, I love it because you know Batman, he's not going to straight out ask Alfred's advice about Selina, but you know he's going to talk about her. He's going to talk about her, and Alfred knows Batman enough to know, like, this dude will spend an entire week not talking to me because there's nothing to say unless he asks me to do something. And all of a sudden he talking about, yeah, so Selina Kyle. He's like, oh, like when Michael Caine gets all excited and stuff. Whenever Bruce talk about, you know, whether it's her name wasn't Talia al Ghul in the Dark Knight Rises movie, but dang, I forgot her name, the character's name, or whether it was Selina Kyle's name. You know, my man's always teasing him about, you know, he's like, ooh, yeah, I know you brooding, and I know you're human, bro. Yeah. Plus, I mean, Alfred probably had to give Bruce Wayne the birds and the bees talk. I know that's probably interesting. I wonder how that went. That would be funny. But some other interesting things. I know there's so many interesting things. So maybe I don't gotta chop up the video. We'll figure it out. So I have in here when Batman is going to, or he's looking for Catwoman after their date that went horribly wrong because Red Claw's people was trying to kill him. He's looking for her. He doesn't know where she is, and he figures Selina's out there being Catwoman doing something. And so he goes to where she lives, and he basically stops one of the Red Claw goons from hurting Maeve, who is Selina Kyle. They established in part 1 who is Selina Kyle's assistant. And so I actually got some stuff to say about this sequence. So it starts out, you see Maeve in the apartment, and she lives with, they don't imply that she lives with Selina Kyle, but I mean, every time you see Maeve, she's with Selina Kyle, and when she's not with her, she's at the crib. So I'm assuming she lives with her or something. But anyways, Maeve is like she's like making some punch, and she's getting ready to sit down and just drink some juice. Now, it's evening time. She don't have no music on. She don't have no different type of lights on. I guess she's just chilling. But I'm thinking, if she's sitting down just making some juice, I'm thinking it's spiked juice. No, it's not in the show. They don't imply that it's spiked juice. But as a 34-year-old man that is looking at it from my life experience, I'm thinking, so if I'm sitting down just drinking some juice, I don't got nothing on. It's quiet, it's dark, it's nighttime. I'm just gonna sit down and enjoy myself some juice. Now, I think it was some sangria. I think she put some, you know what I'm saying, some fruit punch in there, you know what I'm saying? And it looked a little tropical. So I'm thinking that she sits down and drinks, and she sits down, takes her time, she drinks it, you know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking some nice, some spiked fruit punch or something. Like I said, some sangria. And then one of the henchmen comes through the window, I guess, when she ain't looking or something, comes up behind her, and is getting ready to attack her. And, you know, she throws the juice at his face. And she's running to the door. And one of the reasons why I think it might have been some sangria, and it might not have been her first pitcher of punch, or at least her first glass. Because she runs to the door, she's scared, and also adrenaline can do it too when you're scared for your life. But she's just trying to open the door, and she's fiddling with it. Like, she can't even get the lock undone, which is why then she's stuck when she looks behind her, and the henchman's about to Ike Turner her stuff, and then Batman's like, no. And freaking Takamura's his stuff all the way across the room. You can see I'm watching a lot of Ippo too. So yeah. So I'm thinking she was a little bit on the punch. Maybe not. But like I said, she was fiddling with the door that she probably uses every day. Now Selina's very independent, and she doesn't need Maeve to do stuff for her. But I mean, if you're her assistant, I'm sure Maeve is talking to her, opening doors up, closing the doors for her. So yeah, it might have been off the punch if she was, was it finicking with it and not really getting the door open. But also, she could have just been scared too. That could have just been adrenaline. So yeah. Also, my second thing that I thought was interesting, the henchman. So it must have been in part 1, but I wrote down that Selina lived 19 floors up. So how did the henchman, because the henchman didn't come through the door. The henchman came through the window. So I'm thinking, how did the henchman get 19 floors up? Now I'm thinking, if you can get access into the building, then why go up 18 floors, break into somebody's apartment, go out the window, and then go in the window? That doesn't seem like, if you get access to the inside, why don't you just bust through the front door? I say it like it's easy, but I'm thinking, my man came through the window. He had to have climbed 19 stories, which is interesting. Because, I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but is your average henchman climbing up 19 stories? 19? Not to mention, at the end of part 1, my man was spying on her. So, clearly my man has the vantage point if he needs to. He was spying on her, listening to her from like the top of another building. So I'm like, my man clearly why is he climbing up 19 floors? And not everybody, I think, has the ability to climb 19 floors. So that's a special henchman. Yeah. I guess kudos, but I just thought it was interesting. I'm like, dang, maybe I got to give props to the Red Claw gang. You know what I'm saying? Your ranking when it comes to, I guess criminal organizations, fictional criminal organizations. Your ranking must go up if you got somebody on the team that can scale 19 floors. And he didn't come in with the wild equipment and put it all away for you. My man climbed up went through the window, had nothing else on him. So he's like that Solo, forgot his name, Free Solo or something. He the dude that can climb up the scale mountains and stuff with just his hands and his feet, no ropes and carabiners and pulleys or nothing. So it just makes me see the Red Claw gang. It's like, I don't even remember if they make another appearance in the entire series. But I give a little bit more respect to them. Just for like some of the smart things that they're doing. If I was just watching it as like a casual viewer, I'd be like, all right, yep, just your run-in-the-mill villains. The first ones to be in. They're the vehicle to introduce Batman and Catwoman. Yeah, okay. But they gave him a lot more. So I enjoy that. Oh, something else. So I talked about the base of Multigon Industries was originally, they mentioned, I think in part 1 or 2, it was originally supposed to be like a safe bunker, like some apocalyptic safe bunker for like politicians, the special people that can pay their way to survive an apocalypse or a devastating tragedy or something. And so that was the basement, I guess, under Multigon Industries. And I was thinking, and it must have been abandoned or something, But I'm thinking they didn't, in the episode, they didn't draw or put that it had like a lot of supplies. It was mostly just weapons. And I'm like, you wouldn't have supplies down there if it's supposed to be, I mean, like, even if it's an abandoned bunker, I would think, and I'm sure it's not called a freaking bunker. I don't know why I keep calling it that. But I would think like some like, was it uncherishable food, some battery type stuff, you know what I'm saying? Water, wipes, or I don't know, all the stuff you would need in those situations. And none of that was down there. It was like all weapons. Now maybe when it was abandoned, they took the goods. But it's like, and leave the weapons? Because there was a lot of U.S. Army armory down there. Now maybe it could have already been down there. Maybe the Red Claw. Because I can't put nothing past this organization now. They could have possibly transported the goods there. But I just thought it interesting. It's supposed to be a bunker to keep people or politicians. They specifically noted it was like for like people of high esteem in society. Money, people that got money would be down there. Money and influence and power. And those are the people that would be saved. And so I just thought it was interesting that it was like, only weapons. I'm thinking I'd find water down there, a safe shelter, But yeah, and again, it's no hold against them. I'm not saying these things should have been there. Like, never in my life have I drawn, inked, voiced over to anything that could last 20-something minutes. So I give all the respect. I'm Ippo Makanauchi with the first episode with. I'm all the respect. You feel me? And that's honesty. I'm just simply saying what was interesting to me from the art that they shared. You feel me? What else? I guess. A couple interesting. They had a couple Arkham Batman moves in there, which I thought was dope. On the train, Batman did when he was coming to try to stop the Red Claw gang from robbing the military train, he like glided in on his bat glider, and it's dope because they have it in the Batman Ultimate Guide too, like his little Bat Parasailer guide. So he was hanging on that, and then when he jumped off, because he was still being stealth, he came down and he did a double glide kick takedown. Now, I haven't played Arkham Knight, and mostly I've played Arkham Asylum. I'm working my way up. I'm going to train my way Arkham Asylum and then get to Arkham City, even though I've started Arkham City already. Anyway, I don't know if that move is already in Arkham Knight or in like an advanced thing of Arkham City, but I just thought it was dope. Double takedown glide kick, because I'm used to only glide kick and taking down one person, or you can do a double takedown, but a double takedown glide kick, thought it was dope. And I think he did a silent takedown when he was saving Catwoman when she was taking pictures of Multigun International, aka Red Claw Industries. So I think that's everything. I think, so was it the lessons or themes that I took away from this episode in terms of life? I guess in terms of life. I actually did have something though. Well, I guess some obvious stuff is like, the fight is never over. One thing that I think is dope that I hear about the concept that David Goggins, who's like an ultra athlete and former Navy SEAL, but I forgot all that. His correct title, you know what I'm saying? Like he deserves more than that, but that's all that comes to mind right now. Anyway, warrior. How about that? He's a freaking warrior. He mentions about stuff like not being finished. Like the fight is there's no such thing as that there's an end to the fight. When you're dead, that's the end of the fight. When you're alive, that means there's a fight to be had. a fight against the stuff that's trying to make you less than what you are. So just the concept that, it's, it might be the end of the episode. It might be the end of this particular situation, but it's just the beginning because it literally was for the season. But it's easy for me to watch all TV all the time, but not to actually take that into my head, how many times I'll have to start over, or I have to feel like I have to start over, or I have to humble myself. And if I want to go to another level, or if I want to ascend to a different genre area, then I'm going to have to start over in some way. And as someone that likes to be good at stuff right away, I think that's something that's good for me. That's a takeaway that I have. Yeah, be ready to start over every day of your life. And guess what? Be thankful for that still. But sorry, this is me talking to me now. Sorry, my bad. I didn't mean to get all up in you. I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about me. When Hitch, when he was like behind the other side of the door, and she was like, "What?" And he was like, "No, I'm talking to." That's what I'm trying to do right now. It's like, no, I'm really talking to me. So yeah. What else? I mean, expect the unexpected. I mean, one of the themes of the two-parter as well, I think came out like in 1992, but one of the themes is not judging a cover by its book, essentially. And basically the examples were Catwoman and Red Claw, right? You're watching a Batman show, so you're expecting, a Batman to beat up a whole bunch of bad guys and men nasty and ugly and yeah. And then they show you there are two women, different in size, different in temperament, different in beliefs, but also, joke of life, I'm sure there's some universality throughout all the characters. I talked about in the first one when I talked about the trinity of them. But yeah, they're different in so many ways, and yet they still portray a lot of they portray similar attributes. Strength, the temptation of not of breaking the law, but of I guess of their philosophy of life or their method of going about deeming what they think is just. It doesn't fall within the law, and they don't have problems crossing that. Now, they have different lines where they draw that, but again, the point being that they have these different characters, and they're catching you off guard. So that the idea that expect the unexpected. Was it The Art of War? Expect strength from people you immediately deem weak or that you think weak. You know what I'm saying? Expect intelligence from people that you immediately deem dumb or unintelligent, or because quite often the joke of life, they do have that part about them. It's just we don't know it. And it says something about me if I'm looking at anybody having those thoughts. So again, great reminders, right? A cool, enjoyable, fun cartoon animation. And I'm having these reminders about what I need, what I would like to keep my mind on in terms of habits, the way I think and treat myself and other people. Yeah. Oh, and I guess I'll just say this one. I think this one might be more Hajime no Ippo, because I've kind of been watching that too. But it's a concept that I think it might be in this episode somewhere. But I love it. Well, I say I love it. I love it because it's so what I need. But it's that there's no getting it right. When you're doing something, there is no manual for nothing. Even stuff that's written down on paper that has the law letters to it, that's because over time there's been not experiments, but there's been different situations that have caused people to say there needs to be this statute put here. And then a lot of people agree that statute needs to be put there for these reasons. But that's after experience. That's not, nobody was born like, you come out the womb like, code 345.CE. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's doing that. So I say all that to say, because I'm a rule guy. I am the was it I'm the young black hip hop looking version of Dolores Umbridge. Yeah, you heard me right. Dolores Umbridge from Harry Potter. I forgot. Was it part? No, what was it? Was it the one with the? It was the one with Severus Snape, the Half-Blood Prince. Maybe that's the one I'm thinking about. Maybe. But Dolores Umbridge, regardless. Because when it comes to me and how I want my things, I know this isn't unlike anybody else, but this is where me and Dolores Umbridge are like this. Because you know what? My thesis in life is I will have order. And that's just something I realized. You know, not necessarily proud about it, I guess, because I can definitely see when it gets in the way. But, you know, it's a boost too. It definitely imbibes me. Ooh, I think I'm using that right. Imbibes me. See, this in acting class, if I did something like this, the teacher would be like, "Oh, stop right there. See what you did? Do that again." All the acting classes I take. But anyways, it imbibes me with energy. Whatever I was saying, it imbibes me with energy. Dang, I really did lose my point. But yeah. There's no certain way to do things. And it's about just staying in the game, staying in the fight, competing, and finding a way to get it done. And me, I like to only do stuff when it's easy or when it goes my way. And that doesn't work for me because things never go anybody's way, ever. Maybe in recorded history. I don't think anything's ever... You think, oh, things are going great. Yeah, but did you think they were going to go the way you thought? Probably not. Not in my case. My life surprises me with stuff better than I could imagine all the time. But I'm lucky, I'm fortunate. I understand that. You feel me? But yeah. A lot of talking. What's that, 42 minutes? I'm going to try to cut this bad boy down into some pieces. But yeah. Cool, dude. Batman, the animated series. Season 1, episode... Well, we did part 2, but we bled into part 1. We're going to go to part 3. I think it's Leather Wings with Man Bat. So we're going to watch that 3 times too. And yeah. Yeah, that's it. Peace. Black man.